1,000 subscriber top 5 must-do upgrades for the Chevy Cobalt. Very first one is going from the regular steering wheel to the nice leather-wrapped steering wheel. I'd like to upgrade the original gauge cluster from this one that goes up to 120 miles per hour to one from a G5, which goes up to 140. And here's a Canadian version of the G5 instrument cluster, which goes up to 220 kilometers, and then it has a miles per hour right next to it. And then my absolute favorite is from the Chevy Cobalt SS, which goes up to 160. Then I like to add the factory Pioneer sub, which is a nice little upgrade. Blacked out aftermarket headlights from the original ones. Then I like to replace the A-pillar trim with one from a Chevy Cobalt, or you can buy these aftermarket, but I like the original equipment from the Chevy Cobalt SS. And I always replace the boost gauge with an AEM OBD2 multi-function gauge. And some of the other modifications I like to do, I like to upgrade the factory stereo, and this one's a Kenwood, which is real nice. It goes really well with the factory sub. And then this car, when I bought it, it was the extended fuel economy model, which came with 4-lug wheels. And I upgraded all the wheel bearings to the 5-lug wheel bearing and the brake kit. And then another must-do upgrade if you're going to keep the car for a while is a trailer hitch. This car has a 1,000-pound towing capacity. So with a small trailer, you really can haul as much as you need to. I've been doing yard work all weekend and have made several trips back and forth to the recycling for the yard waste. That thing tows without a problem. Alright, this is the car I rebuilt probably about a month ago. It has 130,256 miles on it, and this is a 2009 Chevy Cobalt. When I got it from the insurance auction, it had pretty major front end suspension damage, so I replaced all the suspension, the steering rack, and a couple of the miscellaneous parts, but it had zero body damage. Where I upgraded the A-pillar, and I still got to replace the boost gauge with an AEM gauge. I still have to upgrade the stereo system. One of the first things I do before I start driving a car that I purchase either from the auction or from a private party is replace the cabin air filter. I've seen those things. Usually when I replace them, they haven't replaced probably since new. So that's definitely a must do. And I'll give you a quick look at, there is a look at the factory sub. And you can tell it's much nicer than an aftermarket sub that takes up a lot of your trunk space. There's a nice clean look. I put all new tires on this, alloy rims. I think I'm going to hold on to this car for a little while, just until I get the next project in. Some of the other modifications I've done to this 2009 that I've owned since new is I put a Chevy Cobalt SS bumper on it with the fog lights, color matched mirror caps, of course a window tint. Some of the upgrades underneath the hood are a K&N cold air intake, a ZZP coil pack cover that just makes the engine compartment look nice and clean, a ZZP oil cap, a chrome cap for the brake booster, a strut tower brace that really adds a lot to the handling of the car, an oil catch can, this car has been absolutely flawless since I bought it. It is getting kind of high in mileage with the 324,000. So one of the cars I have a bid on right now is a Chevy Cobalt SS. It's a 2009 as well. So my goal is to buy that car, use the red car for a backup, and do a complete upgrade on this black car. So I'm going to put the turbocharged 2.0 liter engine in it, the Chevy Cobalt SS transmission, which I believe is an F40, and the entire Chevy Cobalt SS suspension. But honestly, one of my challenges and goals is to have this car only down for less than a week. So if I win the bid on the Chevy Cobalt SS, I plan on switching over everything I can while still keeping this car on the road, and then saving for like a weekend project or take a few days off vacation and do the wiring and powertrain swap. So that is my goal, and I will have this other 2009 Chevy Cobalt as a backup car, so I think that'll definitely work out. I've been working on this 2006 Chevy Cobalt. It came in with major front end damage, and with this car I'm actually upgrading the engine. This is a 2006. Usually I don't buy Chevy Cobalts that are older than 2007 because I really like 2007, 8, 9, and 10. But when I bid on this car, it only had 46,000 miles. I didn't know at the time that the engine was actually damaged. The oil pan had been punctured and it had ran after that. So the engine was completely gone. So what I'm doing now is I happen to have a 2.4 liter Chevy Cobalt Sport engine that I'm in the process of putting in this car. So I think this will work out really nicely. This is one of my projects I'm kind of taking my time on because honestly 2006 is not my favorite year. And then my last project, which is not a Chevy Cobalt, is my 1971 Dodge Charger. And in the near future I'm going to buy a totaled newer Charger, like a 2007 to 2015, and do a complete resto mod on this car, add the powertrain from the modern car, suspension, and get this car back on the road. It's really a good solid car, no rust, no real body damage. Love the patina. And one of my upcoming videos, I'm going to do a rear end swap where I'm going to upgrade the suspension in this black 2009 Chevy Cobalt with disc brakes. At the end of this video, I am going to put some screenshots of the YouTube analytics for anyone that's interested in that sort of stuff. How long it took to get to 1,000 subscribers, how many total views this channel has gotten. So if that sort of stuff interests you, watch at the end of the video.